Hi guys, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to the channel if you're new here. If you've been following along so far, you'll know I've been trying to sort out all of the little issues I've been having with my Mercedes Vario truck in preparation for converting it into an expedition type camper truck. Yeah, a camper truck. One of the issues I've been having since I first got it is a smoky startup. So from cold, when you first go to start it, it's really rough to start. It sounds like it's misfiring almost. And then for the first 20 seconds or so, it's really smoky until the engine starts to warm up and then the smoke clears. I thought a service may help with this, so I've serviced it. But even after a good service, she's still very smoky. And I also noticed that the glow plug light was behaving a little bit sporadic. Sometimes it would come on even when the engine was up to temperature. Replacing the glow plugs is one of those jobs. It could take you 5 minutes if all goes well. It may take you 2 days. If one of those glow plugs decides to snap on you, then you're going to have to try and get it out of the engine head, and that's not going to be fun. So in this video, I'm going to show you all of the measures you can put in place to try and get your glow plugs out in one piece without snapping them. The first thing you're going to want to do is soak your glow plugs. For as long as possible, you want to cold soak them, hot soak them in any way you can. With a decent penetrating fluid, for that I'm using PlusGas. The next tip for removing glow plugs in one piece, make sure your engine's up to temperature. Heat is your friend. If your engine head is made out of aluminium, it will expand at a different rate to the steel glow plugs. It will expand faster than the steel glow plug, and therefore it will be larger and it will open up the hole that the glow plug sits in. I know we're talking really tiny amounts, but you need all the help you can get for removing your glow plugs without snapping them. So make sure you do it on a hot engine. Soak, and then the third tip for you is to make sure you don't apply too much force on the glow plug. Here I've got a torque wrench that goes right down to like 15-20 Newton meters. I picked this one up from Amazon and it was around £30, so very reasonably priced, and the main thing is it ratchets in both directions. I've been soaking these for a few weeks now with my PlusGas, so I'll show you what I do. I just get some of this, and it's got the nice straw on there so you can apply it without spilling it everywhere. And I just go to the base of the glow plug and put a squirt in there. Squirt some in there. That one back there. You get the idea. And with the PlusGas, because it's really thin, it should seep through into the threads so that it gives us the best chance of getting these out. The PlusGas is also pretty good for cleaning. As you can see around the base where I've been soaking them, it's fairly clean in there. So when we remove them, hopefully bits don't get in the engine as well. I'm now going to go around and start the engine because I noticed something a little bit strange. With the engine running, have a look around the base of the glow plugs. Can you spot anything wrong? Well, you see those bubbles around that glow plug there? It's not supposed to be doing that. And that's showing us that we've got a leak from this glow plug. At this point, I'm really hoping that it's not cross-threaded, because that would be a right nightmare to repair. Before attempting to remove the glow plugs, I get the engine nice and hot. Like I said previously, it helps to expand the metal a little bit, so it's going to give you the best chance of getting the glow plugs out. Without the engine cover on, it's deafeningly loud in the cab, but fortunately I had some protection. With the engine up to temperature, I re-soaked the first glow plug, and as you can see, the leaks actually got worse, and that demonstrates to you that the metal has expanded a little bit more than the steel glow plug. I've got a 12mm socket for this. That goes on there rather nicely. I'm going to get my torque wrench and set this to the lowest setting, just under 20. Now I'm going to put that on there and try and loosen it. Oh my god, that was so loose. Because it was so easy to remove the first glow plug, I was a little bit concerned that perhaps the threads had been stripped or it had been cross-threaded when last installed, and that's why it was leaking. After checking the threads in the head and on the glow plug, I could confirm that they were in good condition, and that wasn't actually the case. Not bad, not bad. Put that to one side, and ow, ah. Hopefully we get just as lucky on the next one. Put that in there. When a glow plug's installed, it's torqued up to a really low torque specification, around 15 to 20 Newton meters. So by using a torque wrench to undo it, then we can meter how much force we're applying on it. So providing we don't exceed the 20 Newton meters by too much, then it shouldn't snap in theory. Another trick you can try is using your drill on the lowest torque setting. It has to be a drill with a torque setting like this, so you can put it right down to number 1. And when we put this on the glow plug, it's going to apply a vibration to that glow plug and hopefully vibrate it a bit loose. And then I can step that up one by one. So that's on number 1. Let's put it to number 2. Gives it a little bit more torque. I can imagine some of you impatiently watching this saying, just get on with it and get the bloody thing out. It's worth taking your time with this. Even if you spend an hour per glow plug, that's still going to be quicker than removing a snapped one. I can assure you of that. I gradually increased the torque on my drill, and then I switched back to the torque wrench, and I'm still only using about 20 Newton meters on my torque wrench. You can step it up 1 Newton meter at a time if you feel you need to, but the combination of the vibrations, the heat, the penetrating fluid, eventually it should go. And she's gone. Perfect. Now don't get too excited just because you've got it moving. Make sure you spray it up again, and then using a ratchet work it in and out very slowly, and then that way it should clean the threads on the way out and it will come out in one piece. Number 2. That's number 3. There we go, she's gone. Perfect. One more to go. It's the last one. It's always the last one, isn't it? Just grab that one out. 4 out of 5. Must be my lucky day. Better do the lottery tonight. Number 5. Well, that went much smoother than I was expecting. I was expecting at least 1 snapped glow plug, if I'm honest with you, but there we go. I managed to get all 5 out without snapping a single one. And I think that was all to do with the preparation. Making sure I soaked them really, really well with decent penetrating fluid weeks prior to doing this job. Heating them up, soaking them, letting it cool down, soaking them, just getting enough of that penetrating fluid to soak into the threads so that they came out nicely without snapping. So now we've got the glow plugs out, I'm going to show you how you can test them. There are 2 methods I know of to check and test a glow plug. One of the methods you can do while they're still in the engine using a multimeter, and that's just a basic resistance test. And the other method I'm going to show you, you can do once you've got them removed using a battery. So let's get into it and I'll show you how to test a glow plug. This is our glow plug. It's essentially a little heating element which sits inside the cylinder, and it helps us start the engine in colder weather. Some engines need them, some engines don't actually need them at all. My old 2.5 DI Transit engine didn't have any glow plugs. It relied purely on good compression, and it started really well, even in colder weather. Whereas this engine, well, it needs glow plugs, 5 of them. And if even one of them isn't working properly, then it could cause it to be a bit smoky on startup, like mine is. So let's test them and see if we can find a broken one here. And first of all, I'm going to show you a resistance test. Being a heating element, it's a resistive load, and we can measure the resistance across the coil inside here to tell us whether it's good or bad. And we can do that while it's still in the engine, no problem, but I'm going to show you on the bench. For this test, I'm going to be using a digital multimeter. I'll put a link in the description below if you need to pick one up. It will just be a basic one. This is quite fancy because it's got auto ranging features and quite a few other things. But we just need to put it on the resistance symbol there, the omega, and we're going to be measuring ohms. On the engine, you can just literally touch that on the engine itself. That will be grounded in the threads. And then we can test the top here and we'll get a resistance reading on the multimeter. You can see that says 3.1 ohms. So let's check the next one. Should be about the same. 3.1 ohms, that one's okay. The next one, 3.3, 3.2, 3.1 ohms, exactly the same. So those 3 are okay. What about the next one? That stands for open line. It means it's open circuit. That glow plug is faulty, I'm afraid. And the next one should be 3.1. There we go. So this one here is faulty. The resistance reading you get on your glow plug doesn't actually matter too much. That's all dependent on the manufacturer of the glow plug and which coil they've used inside of it. As long as they're equal, all of them, then you shouldn't have any problems. If you find some outliers, then it might be worth replacing them. I'm replacing them all anyway. I'm now going to show you how you can use a 12-volt battery to test a glow plug. So let's get our glow plug. I've got this nice thick gauge cable here connected to the positive, and then I'm going to ground this on the negative post on my battery like that, and then with this cable I'm going to touch it on the end. Now be careful because it's a glow plug, it's going to get hot. So let's put that on there, and then if I tap this on the end, you'll see it should glow cherry red. Beautiful. Be very careful not to short this on the negative because it will spark quite ferociously. And then last but not least, this is the faulty one. You can see nothing happens. I can even touch the end of it. Doesn't even get hot at all. If you're going to all the effort of replacing your glow plugs, make sure you use good quality ones to replace them. Either Bosch I would recommend, or NGK like I'm using. There we go, a full set plus one spare to replace these ones. I'm just going to test one to make sure it works. I did get these fairly cheap, much cheaper than the Bosch ones. And I'll put a link in the description if you need these specific ones for the Mercedes Vario. There's a little comparison there. All right, let's put it on the battery and try it out. Beautiful. It glows up lovely. So make sure the hole's nice and clean, and then you can get your new glow plugs and screw them in by hand most of the way. Be very, very gentle with them, because the last thing you want to do at this stage is to cross thread them in your engine. That's just tightened down, finger tight, and I'll put the other four in and then torque them all to specification one by one.
You forgot to put copper slip on them.
That's a very good observation, but in this case I'm not going to be using any anti-seize compound, and that's mainly because I want to get the torque specification nice and accurate. When you use anti-seize compounds like copper grease, you actually reduce the friction, and so you will be over torquing them if you do it to the set specification. Now of course you can reduce the torque setting by about 30% if you're using copper grease, but I'm just going to be installing them dry as is recommended by the manufacturer.
I've snugged them all down by hand, so they've just stopped there, and now I'm going to torque them to specification. And for this, I'm going to do them up to 20 Newton meters. That's it. It's not a lot of torque, but it's enough. That's it. Clicked off at 20. I'm now just going to reconnect the plugs.
I spray a drop of WD-40 around the base of the new glow plugs, and that way when we start the engine we'll be able to use it to check for leaks. If it starts bubbling up, then obviously we've still got a leak.
You can see there we've just got a little pool of WD-40 around the base of the glow plugs. I'm now going to start the engine up and we'll be able to check for leaks.
I turned the ignition on for a few seconds just before starting the engine. The glow plug light didn't come up on the dashboard, but that's because I think the outside air temperature was warm enough that it didn't require the glow plugs to start. I then checked the output from the exhaust, and as you can see, the smoke has significantly reduced on startup. And let's check the glow plugs once more with that WD-40 around the base. There aren't any bubbles, so we don't have any leaks. And I'd say that's another job jobbed. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful and you enjoyed watching it. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you click that alarm bell and set notifications to all, you'll be notified when I post new videos. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys, bye for now.